Hello, citizens of Gotham. What is up? My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Bitcoin Vigilante. What? We can't have this. That's going to have some feedback. There, we're going to shut that down. Sorry. Sorry, gang. um, Bam. All right, let me make sure. Good to have everybody here. Kevin, Burnquist, and CBDC voter. Like, share, subscribe. Um, crazy week, right? So I went live the night of the election with Dave Anthony and Mona Shake, and we were watching it happen. We're like, oh, Harris is going to lose. This is her fault and the Democrats' fault. We'll get into why. There's all this data to show why they didn't win. And, I don't know if liberals are going to want to listen to it. I don't know. They didn't want to learn 8 years ago. The Democratic Party didn't want to learn 8 years ago, and they're not going to learn this time. Anyway. Well, there's something I wanted to send a foot for the show. Dave Anthony sent me. Bam. So, yeah, tell me all of that. Palm Strike enthusiast. Hey, Graham, where can I get Manifested? You can get that at Apple TV. It's available at Apple TV and Amazon. And, I should share with you guys this. My album, a Socialist Christmas album, you can pre-order the whole album. It's coming out Black Friday, guys. Ho, Shazam. Bam. I'm going to put the link. No, I want the whole album. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Dang it, I just had it. Hold on. Home. We want the whole album. Hold on, I want to get the show album in library. There it is. No, the whole album. Why is this? Hold on. I had it. I want to, so A Socialist Christmas, if you can bail on iTunes, why is it not showing me the whole album? This is driving me crazy. Where is this? Why is Okay, hold on. Sorry, guys. This is here we go. Socialist Christmas Grandma. Let me pre-order this. You can pre-order the Socialist Christmas album. Good to see you, Palm Strike enthusiast. So this link, and I'll put it up on here right now. If you go into iTunes and look for A Socialist Christmas with Graham Elwood, you can pre-order the whole album and listen to little sample tracks It's going to be available Black Friday. We're so excited. We're so excited for this. So I really hope you enjoy it. And it was so much fun to make. And there's 15 tracks on here. There's a couple like sketches. You know, I read a couple poems. I do wacky voices. There's fun music. My buddy Andy Creighton, who's a really good musician, he did the music for Earbuds, the podcasting documentary in Afghanistan. So we did it in his studio. So let's get this dialed in there. A little business now, a little shakety business. So yeah, and you're supporting what we do, and you get a fun album. You get a fun album. So, and also by December, there'll be a vinyl version available. Ooh. I have an ebook that's going to be out by next week, called The History of How Technology's Been Used to Rig US Elections. So there's cool stuff happening, you guys. Really, really cool stuff. And I appreciate all of you supporting me in any way, shape, or form. So let's do our first segment about what's just going on with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is pumping hard. Let me cue this up. All right. Let me get this queued up. Hey, gorgeous. Hi. Okay, Sans Jane, good to see you. Good to see you. Bam. Let me get everything queued up and ready to go and rock and roll, everybody. All right, I'll be right back in less than 10 seconds with our first hot fresh segment. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Bitcoin Vigilante, folks. Right there, that QRF code, you can support us on chain with donate some Bitcoin if you want. There's other ways to support the show down here. I've been talking about Bitcoin on this show for 5 years now. I got involved in 2019, 2020, when the pandemic hit is when I really started to tell you guys, get involved in Bitcoin. Now, when I first got in, I was talking about Bitcoin and crypto, and I got more knowledgeable on how I personally have now become a Bitcoin maxi. I think just get Bitcoin. And I've been saying, 2 years ago when Bitcoin dropped down to under 20,000 a coin, I said, it's a good time to buy, and because it's going to come back up. We've talked about it a little during this election cycle about, you know, who understands Bitcoin, who doesn't. Now, since Trump won, the price has gone way up. I don't think Trump really understands Bitcoin. He's got his coin. I don't think he understands it. But the reality is a bunch of pro crypto politicians in both parties got elected into the House and Senate. So, you know, so just from a Bitcoin standpoint, this is what it's doing. I didn't vote for either Trump or Harris. I don't support them. I don't support. They're both, they're both funding genocide. So I don't support that. But one of the reasons I've always told you, like, here's why I'm buying Bitcoin, is because it empowers regular people. And I've told you 4 years ago, there is a wall, a mountain, a tsunami of institutional money, trillions of dollars. That's with the T, coming into Bitcoin, and it's going to jump the price up. So you're going to want to get some. And you can buy as little as $10. So this is all the stuff that's been happening. It's not just the election spike, but also pro crypto politicians in both parties got elected. I think people are realizing, as I said, what's going to drive the price up is going to be mass adoption. So this was just reported by Altcoin Daily that Pennsylvania, okay, is proposing to use Bitcoin as a reserve asset. Now, why that's significant? Obviously, Pennsylvania is a very large state. The more states and countries that make Bitcoin a reserve asset, like El Salvador is doing. I talked about El Salvador when Bukele got elected and he made Bitcoin their reserve currency in 2021. And I've talked about how the United States federal government owns somewhere over around 150,000 full coins that they've gotten over the years from seizing. So the United States could make this, and if the United States, which has like the largest economy, maybe the second largest to China now, maybe we fall into the two slot. But anyway, one of, if not the, a long time, if they make Bitcoin a reserve, it'll drive the price up. And there's only ever going to be 21 million coins. So that's why I'm telling regular people, this is something you want to buy. But let's look at a couple other factors here. So this is big. Then you've got what Michael Saylor said. This is Max Kaiser watching Michael Saylor on Point. This is what Michael Saylor said. And again, he's a big Bitcoin event.
2 weeks. Shares of MicroStrategy hit an all-time high yesterday as well. Joining us now in an exclusive interview is Michael Saylor, co-founder and executive chairman at MicroStrategy. He is joining us from the Cantor Crypto, Digital Assets, and AI Infrastructure Conference in Miami. Michael, it's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, thanks for hosting me, Morgan.
So I'm going to start right there. The torrid run we've seen in Bitcoin, is this all just anticipation about what a Trump administration is going to mean for it?
You know, the red wave is probably the biggest thing that's happened in the past 4 years for Bitcoin. It's incredibly auspicious for Bitcoin and for the entire crypto industry. But we're also getting a lot of very constructive support from Wall Street. BlackRock has been a very, very strong voice articulating the Bitcoin value proposition. And of course, MicroStrategy on October 30th announced that we were going to raise $42 billion to buy Bitcoin. And that's the same as saying we're going to buy every Bitcoin mine for the next 3 years at $85,000 or more Bitcoin. So there's a lot of bullish things going on in the market right now.
And I do want to get to that audacious $42 billion fundraising plan of yours. But first, there's a lot of regulation and regulatory aspects that are in focus with the Trump administration coming into play. SEC chairman, for example, a lot of expectations that Gary Gensler is going to step aside. And I realize Bitcoin itself is governed as a commodity, unlike other cryptocurrencies. But when you're talking about the ETFs and when you're talking about the cryptocurrency exchanges and when you're talking about companies like yours, MicroStrategy, which is publicly traded, it is SEC. So how important is that appointment going to be? And who would you like to see at the helm?
Well, I think whoever chairs the SEC has probably the most pivotal role in the entire digital assets industry. I think this is incredibly bullish for digital assets. It's very good for the crypto industry. We're going to see a lot more pro-Bitcoin policies. We're going to see a digital assets framework. We're going to see an end to the war on crypto. We're going to see a lot of pro-business policies. And I think that clearly the SEC will be a big part of it. So it's above my pay grade to have an opinion on who it's going to be. But I think it's pretty clear the House, the Senate, the White House, they're all very pro-crypto. So I expect that we'll have a very supportive head of the SEC.
Michael, well, as well as you've done buying Bitcoin, I'm not sure anything is really above your pay grade at this point, which leads you to the question, what do you think is the biggest threat to Bitcoin's price staying above 60K? What potentially causes another dive below 30K?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to 60K. It's not going to 30K. I think it's going to go up from here. I'm planning the 100K party. And I'm thinking it's probably going to be New Year's Eve at my house. So I would be surprised if we don't go through 100K in November or December.
So then what's the biggest threat to it going lower, even if it doesn't get that low?
I think the biggest the biggest uncertainty in the industry was November 5th. And would you have a blue wave? Would you have a red wave? Or would you have a split Congress? And would you have any dispute about the future of crypto assets and Bitcoin? I think that was settled by the people very decidedly on November 5th. And I don't really see any threats in the near term horizon.
A strategic Bitcoin reserve, how likely is it that that is actually established? And why would that be a good thing when you're talking about a decentralized asset now being stockpiled by a centralized government?
Well, that's being sponsored by Senator Lummis from Wyoming, and she understands the value of the frontier. The United States was built by purchasing Manhattan, then we purchased the Louisiana Territory, then we purchased California and acquired Texas, and then we bought Alaska. The next great frontier is cyberspace, and the obvious thing to do is to own cyberspace, buy the future. And so I think it's a great idea. I think it will happen. And I think it's important to the United States because it cements the United States' control over the future world reserve capital network. Senator Lummis's bill will offset $16 trillion of our debt, according to my models right now. So I think it's economically wise, it's technically wise. And again, Bitcoin is manifest destiny for the United States.
So with your most recent acquisition of 27,200 Bitcoins, it looks like you now, based on my calculations, own about 1% of the Bitcoin supply. You just talked about this $42 billion fundraising plan. This would be a record-breaking plan. Half of it in at-the-market equity offerings and half of it in new debt securities. How will you carry this out, and why is now the time to go to market with something like this?
Well, all of our investors tell me they want me to buy more Bitcoin. They want me to raise capital to buy Bitcoin. And their number one concern was, are you going to stop issuing equity to buy Bitcoin? And so we were actually addressing their concerns. We did raise $2 billion to buy 27,000 Bitcoin just in the first 10 days of November. So we're moving fairly aggressively on it. I think our exact rate will be a function of the capital markets, but right now they've been very enthusiastic. So our plan is 3 years, but it's possible we'll do it much before then.
Okay. Michael Saylor of MicroStrategy. Great to have you on. Thank you.
So, I mean, that is very significant, what he's talking about. Again, right of, this is another like huge complaint I have with the Democratic Party is their lack of understanding of Bitcoin. Another reason why we'll do another segment about why, they keep losing. Warren attacking it, and I've done numerous videos about how like she doesn't even know what she's talking about. It's funny, the Bitcoin's bad for the environment. We've debunked that on this show. Oh, Bitcoin's only used for criminality. The US dollar is used for a lot of criminality. And there was a pipeline hack that happened 2 years ago, and they used Bitcoin. The transaction to hack it was they stole the Bitcoin. They caught the people because Bitcoin is actually very trackable now. So I've been saying, and this is why, I'm an anti-war, pro-labor democratic socialist. So I don't like the Democratic Party. I don't like the Republicans. But that's why I love Bitcoin and why I get along with Bitcoiners, regardless of whatever political or sociological, view they have, because it's not red versus blue. It's the state versus you. And Bitcoin empowers people. I've been saying this empowers you against the central banks. Bitcoin, defunds the war machine. Bitcoin, it gives regular people power. And I've been saying the institutional guys 4 years ago, I go, they're starting, once they figure it out, they're coming. So you should get into it. And that's what he's talking about. And, if the Democratic Party would have truly understood Bitcoin and had a pro-Bitcoin stance, they could have gotten some votes. I had an interview a year ago with Jill Stein, when the Green Party candidate, when she was first announced, and I was trying to talk to her, and she was busy. And this isn't like a slam on the Green Party. They're a small little party that doesn't have a lot of money. But I respect what their position is. I was trying to get them to understand how important Bitcoin is and why lefties need to understand Bitcoin more. So I'm writing a book that's going to be out at the beginning of the year called Bitcoin for Activists. And I really hope you understand it and get it and buy it, and it helps lefty activists. And when I'm talking about the left, I'm talking about the anti-war left. I'm talking about the pro-labor left, not the woke left. The woke left can be kind of crazy, just like the religious right, and that's a problem. Somebody in the chat just put, it's confusing on how to purchase. Well, that's a great question, and don't feel bad. I didn't get Bitcoin at all. I'm a comedian, a filmmaker, a surfer. I've never been a big tech or finance person. I just don't. But what I want to, first of all, this is a way to support the show. This is a Bitcoin exchange, swanbitcoin.com. There's other exchanges, Coinbase and crypto.com, but they're crypto exchanges where you can buy all of the other cryptocurrencies, which I think many of them, most of them are a little suspect personally, because I've been burned on some of them. So Swan Bitcoin, if you buy this, you get $10 of free Bitcoin. I get $10 of free Bitcoin. So you go to an exchange, you can link a bank account just like you would to buy stocks or something. If you were to go to TD Ameritrade or some site like that. So if you go to swanbitcoin.com or whatever exchange you want to use, you can link a bank account to it and you can buy as little as like 10. Some of them have thresholds of $50 or $100, but you can buy like $10, $20 of Bitcoin. And then I would urge you to go to Swan Bitcoins. And then you have it on the exchange. And then I would urge you to start learning about what's called cold storage and how to move it from an exchange to cold storage. The simplest way to look at that is having it on an exchange is like having your money in the bank, where the bank could seize your money. There could be a run on the bank. The bank could, we could have another financial collapse, and then your money's not in the bank. That could happen with your Bitcoin on an exchange. And Swan Bitcoin shows you how to self-custody. A cold wallet is the equivalent of taking your cash out of the bank and putting it in like a safety deposit box or a safe. So you physically have it. Okay. So that's the best thing. And I hope, so start educating yourself. I just made a commitment like 4 or 5 years ago, especially when COVID hit. I was like, oh man, we're going to have another financial collapse. We haven't had a full collapse. We've just been in a recession. We could still have another collapse. I don't know. But this is why I was urging all of you to not, I got crushed in the 2008 collapse. I got crushed. I lost my home. I didn't understand money. I didn't understand assets. I didn't understand it because we're deliberately not taught that in this country. And I saw Bush and Obama, both parties, they bailed out the banks and let 6 million foreclosures happen. So that was like it for me. And I was like, and I just didn't want that to happen to any of you when COVID hit and everything was nuts, the markets, and we still haven't even recovered, I don't think, in this country financially as a result of COVID. So buy a little Bitcoin. And I just made a decision. I'm going to watch 1 or 2 Bitcoin videos a day. So go to Swan Bitcoin's YouTube channel, go to Bitcoin 101, Bitcoin.com YouTube's channel. They have a Bitcoin 101 playlist. Very simple. Get the Bitcoin Standard, get Inventing Bitcoin by Jan Pritzker. Those are their books. They're very quick reads. They're 100 pages. Like they're very simplistic books. My book's coming out the beginning of the year. Just make a commitment to yourself to just start just learn. I want to learn more about Bitcoin and learn the difference between Bitcoin and crypto. That's very critical as well. Bitcoin is like digital gold. The altcoins, which is Ethereum and everything else, they're like digital stocks. So they're way more susceptible to corruption. Bitcoin doesn't have a CEO that can get arrested. There's no Bitcoin offices that can get raided by the FBI. Just start learning about it. When you don't understand something, the thing I've said, I just got to go at it and just start learning and just make a commitment. Just watch 10 minutes a day. Just start learning more and more and more and more to empower yourself. All right? Follow the money, connects the dots. Buy Bitcoin, stack sats. This is not financial advice. I'm not a paid financial advisor. And shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. Mike, my pleasure. I want people to learn about Bitcoin and understand it. Cause like I said, it's an opportunity for all of us regular folks to have power, And so I know it's confusing at first. I did not get it at first. And I didn't get it overnight either. It wasn't like I read one book and went, oh, I had to keep learning and learning and learning. So you're doing great that you're even just here asking the question. Some people don't understand Bitcoin and they just go, oh, it's stupid. It's a scam. And then they just attack it because they don't understand it. So good for you for going, I don't get it. It's confusing. Just admit, I don't understand. The smartest, most successful people I've ever met, I got to be honest, are people that ask a lot of questions. There's certain stuff that they're knowledgeable on, like, look, I understand this and this and this. But when they come across something they don't understand, they don't go, shut up. They're like, what does that mean? How does this work? And they ask all of these questions and they surround themselves with people that know more than them so that they become more knowledgeable on it. So you're doing great, buddy. I appreciate it. You can support the show with that. You can support the show with that. You can just buy Bitcoin at the Swan with the swanbitcoin.com/Graham Elwood. And you're getting $10 and I'm getting $10. So you're not even giving me extra money. You're just supporting the show just by buying Bitcoin, right? Isn't that for everybody? All right, let's get our next segment queued up, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, here it is. Let me get this queued up. All right. Let me get the next segment queued up. I got to go to a Producers Guild event tonight, so stop sharing. Yeah, let's do that. Then let's go boom. That's not what we wanted. Let's see. This one. Okay, there it is. There it is. Hello. Like, share, subscribe, everybody. I'll be right back in less than 10 seconds with our next Hot Fresh segment. Yeah. Hello, everybody. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching the Bitcoin Vigilante. Bitcoin got to a new all-time high of over 93,000. It's pulled back a little bit to about 88,000, but oh man, it's been pumping hard. And you can support our show by donating a little Bitcoin right there. There's also ways to donate fiat right there, scrolling below. And anything helps. You can also go to swanbitcoin.com /Graham Elwood, where if you buy $100 worth of Bitcoin, you get free $10 and I get free $10. And Swan Bitcoin is a Bitcoin only exchange. They also have videos on how to self-custody, which is taking it off the exchange and just holding on to it. So it's we like what they're doing over there. So obviously we're a little past a week of the election. I live streamed it with Dave Anthony and Mona Sheikh, and Harris lost big, and the Democratic Party just refuses to learn. And I see some liberals online flipping out, and I'm just like, are you guys learning nothing? You're learning nothing. All of us on the actual progressive left, we were warning, like, if you guys don't, if you try to get right-wing voters, you're going to lose progressive lefties. We're going to go through all of the reasons, but first let's go into this one. So this is the campaign, right? Who could have predicted that copying the 2016 playbook would go badly, right? This is Hillary saying, this is in 2016, we want to appeal to moderate Republicans, right? And then this is another article. Harris ramps up her appeals to Republican voters in the Philly suburbs, right? And then what happened? They lost Pennsylvania. So why would you do this? So that's one big reason. They appealed to Republicans. And if you watch the Trump-Harris debate, Harris said, I'm pro-fracking, I'm going to keep supporting Israel, and I'm a proud gun owner. And it was like, those are Republican talking points. And the Republican Party, like registered Republicans, vote for the Republican candidate around 95, 96% of the time. That's what they do. That's what they did that's what they did in 2020. That's what they did in 2016, even in 2020 when Biden won. So, and Trump had roughly the same amount of votes from 2020 that he did in 2024. So there was just less voters, right? And I'm seeing people online say, oh, those people have stayed home, man. They're not listening. They're not listening. I'll give this for the Republicans. And I didn't vote for either one. I'm a third party voter. But when the Republicans get badly beaten, that's the same. They go back and regroup and go, we got to come up with a new strategy. The Democrats just don't. They paid Beyonce $2 million. So we're going to get into that in a second, but there's a lot of things. Now let's look at this, I think, is another critical thing, which is they ignored all of the people in this country that are not happy with the Biden and Harris administration. They are in power right now. They've been in power for almost 4 years. They will be in power until January 20th. They've given Israel over $23 billion. And Israel is committing a genocide. Now, even if you don't think, I don't think Israel is committing a genocide. Israel has a right to defend itself. But from if you're just going to think strategy, wow, there's a lot of voters out there that aren't happy with what Biden and Harris are doing today. One of them is Rashida Tlaib. She is the Democratic congresswoman that's the Palestinian. She's the only Palestinian in Congress. She was not allowed to speak. No Palestinians were allowed to speak at the Democratic convention. Her and Ilhan Omar is openly Muslim. Omar's from Michigan, Tlaib's from Michigan, Omar's from Minnesota. So I want to show you something. And both of them, Tlaib and Omar, publicly said, we are not endorsing Kamala Harris because the Biden and Harris administration is funding a genocide. So this is Michigan, a state Harris was supposed to win. Look at these numbers. Tlaib won with almost 70% of the vote. 70% of the vote. And so let's do this in real time, guys. Let's do 2024 election results. Okay. Let's do the map. Let's go to Michigan. Harris got, look at this. Donald Trump, 49% of the vote. Harris, 48.3% of the vote. And Tlaib's district, okay? Let's look at that. Which I think is this one. Well, I can't get that specific election results, but so the point I'm making, Tlaib got almost 70%. She won 70% to 25 against her Republican counterpart in her district. And I believe, I couldn't bring it up on this map, but I believe in her district voted for Harris 52%. So there was almost 20% of the people in her district voted for the Democratic Palestinian congresswoman, but did not vote for Harris. What does that tell you? Which means they either voted for Trump or they didn't vote for president or they voted third party, right? And I've shown this before, there's not enough third party votes. If you add up all the third party voters, gave them all of the Greens, the Libertarians, RFK, all of them, and give them to Harris, it's not enough. So what does this tell you? The Democratic Party didn't listen to all of the people in the anti-war movement on the left saying, hey man, I think if Harris would have just said, all right, I will stop it the minute I'm president. Day one, I'm going to call Netanyahu, it's over. Not, oh, we're tirelessly trying to find a ceasefire. No, you're not. No, you're not. That cost her, one of the reasons that cost her the election. Let's show you some other numbers, right? There's this. Look at this. Biden administration admits that 30-day deadline on Israel was totally made up. The State Department announced that it won't be taking any action after its previous threat to limit military assistance to Israel. Right? Well, let me show you that again. Let me bring you that up because it's admits that a 30-day deadline in Israel is totally made up. This is the problem. Another thing, like this is the problem. And people were paying attention to this. So if Harris even just said, we negotiated a ceasefire, like before the election, I negotiated a ceasefire. Me and Joe Biden negotiated a ceasefire. Please elect me. I will make this war end. That would have got her a lot of votes. Then you got to look at, there was another statistics I saw that 18 to 34-year-old voters, the last three presidential elections, the percentage of that demographic that has voted for the Democrats has decreased each time. Gee, who really had that demographic locked down? Oh, Bernie Sanders. Now, Bernie's come forward and said, oh, this is why they lost. It's like, Bernie, you told everybody to vote for Biden. You've told everybody to vote for Harris. Like, I don't want to hear from Bernie anymore. But they don't listen to the progressive left. They spend money on the woke left. And that's not going to do it. And then let's look at, then there's this, the waste of money. So let me show you this. Let me show you this insane thing. Look at this. This is the Sphere in Vegas. They spent $450,000 a day for that. They spent $2 million for Beyonce. You know, I was talking to a friend of mine who was like, Graham, you know, he's like, Graham, I make good money. I live in a rent controlled apartment with my wife. I've lived there for 30 years. I keep my expenses low. He goes, but I make good money. He goes, my expenses used to be $7,000 a month. Now they're 8,500 just in the last couple of years. He goes, and I can afford it, but that's a 20% increase. And I can afford it because I'm making six-figure money. He goes, but what if you're making 40 grand a year, 50 grand a year, and you have a 20% increase on your bills? Your monthly nut is, let's say it's, you know, 3,500 a month, and now it's 4,200 a month. That's huge. You can't do that. And they wasted $1 billion, and now they're in debt. They're $20 million in debt, and they raised it all. They got a lot of billionaire money and super PAC money and everything, but a lot of this is just regular Democrats got those text messages from Obama saying, "Oh, I need your support. Give me $25," and they wasted it on crap like this, and they lost Nevada. They lost Nevada. $450,000 a day for that in Vegas? Well, here's the other thing too. The consultants, they get a taste. They get a percentage of the ad buys. So there's this whole class of professional political consultants, and they make so much money. And they're with both parties, but the Democratic ones are just like hustlers. And this is why the Democratic Party would rather lose to Republicans than let the progressive left take over the party. I mean, I did numerous videos in 2020, how like Fox viewers during the Democratic primary 2020, they were asked, who would you vote for? You know, Trump versus Klobuchar, Trump versus Liz Warren, Trump versus Harris, Biden, all of them, and Bernie. Bernie was the only one where Fox News viewers said they would vote for Bernie over Trump. Fox viewers. It was a 6-point difference. If you get Fox viewers to vote for Bernie, then you get all the any blue will do crowd. Like it's amazing how tone deaf the Democratic Party is. And then they're just screaming, oh, it's because the country's sexist and racist. Is there a lot of sexism and racism in this country? Yeah. Are there a lot of Trump supporters that are sexist and racist? Yeah, absolutely. No two ways about it. But there's also a lot of sexist and racist liberals. And I know, like Mona Sheikh, who's been on the show, she's like, Graham, because Mona, she's Pakistani American. She's like, I'm not voting for Harris. I'm not voting for Trump because I'm against this genocide that the Biden administration is currently funding. She's been getting attacked by liberals of all different ethnicities. And then this is a video that was made that sums up this guy made this video, and I want to show it to you, which kind of sums up like how this guy made this hilarious video, and it's gone viral.
Yeah, this is what you wanted.
So this is I don't know who this did, but it's just going, this man nails it. White liberals after having to be nice to minorities for years. Now, this is I've seen a lot of minorities who were publicly like, I'm not voting for Harris because of the genocide or because she's not helping me financially or whatever. And this is what white liberals are saying to them online.
Yeah, this is what you wanted, huh? He won. I hope you got exactly what you wanted. I hope you got and you know what, for all of the black people who were quote unquote mad at the Democratic Party because they wouldn't give you reparations or they wouldn't promise you a black focused vote or whatever it is. I hope you get Trump, who's not going to promise you anything. He's going to take you back to slavery. I hope he calls you monkey. I hope he calls you jigaboo and a spook. I hope he calls you monkey twice. I hope buck breaking comes back. I hope they call all the black women mammies. I hope all of that happens so you can see what you asked for. I hope that all the Mexicans who were afraid of illegal immigrants just as much as the other people were, I hope those people get sent back to their country. Yeah. I hope all of the Hispanics in Miami-Dade who were just afraid of of communism because they came from a country that was just ravaged by it. I hope that they get shown what it looks like to really be ravaged. I hope they get sent back on boats. I hope they have to swim back. I hope their back has to be wet all over again. Because that's what he's going to make you do. He's going to make you swim all the way back. Yeah, all those people in Michigan who didn't support Kamala Harris because she wouldn't say the word weapons embargo. Yeah, I hope they're forced to go through what happened right after 9/11. Yeah, flight risks all of you. He's gonna put all of you in internment camps because that's what you wanted, right? You wanted to be in an internment camp. You wanted that. All right, that's what you wanted. I hope everybody who like had religious values until they wouldn't support Kamala Harris. I hope you get forced to have babies. I hope your father assaults you and therefore you're forced to have the baby that you wanted so badly. I hope that's what happens to you. I hope you get every racial epithet and I hope you get all of the disrespect that you deserve. Because remember that people like us tried to stop stuff like that and you wouldn't listen. So I hope they call you a monkey, a spook, a jigaboo, and I can't even say the other words because I'll get banned. So thank you. Have a good day. I didn't even vote for the motherfucker. What the fuck did I do?
That's fucking brilliant. I didn't even vote for the motherfucker. But that's the thing. You know, this is part of the problem with that I have with liberals, why I don't call myself a liberal anymore, and I haven't for years, is I'm just like, this selective outrage, you know? Oh my God, when Trump got elected the first time, and they're like, he's putting, you know, people in cages. Okay, that was awful, but Obama built the cages, you know? Obama dropped more bombs than Bush, and nobody seemed to care. Liberals didn't seem to care, you know? And they are woefully out of touch. They don't want to listen. And then they just scream and yell at everybody and they don't want to listen. And they're just as closed-minded as like the religious right. They like to think that they're so open-minded. And then, you know, the Trump supporters, they don't want to hear facts about how, you know, all the awful stuff Trump's done. And there's some definite truth to that. They're just like, nope. You're like, this is the things Trump did. Nope. But then the liberals do the same thing. Nope. And then they say all this awful shit. So, you know, that's all of the reasons they lost. And I don't see the Democratic Party is certainly not going to learn from its mistakes. And I don't see liberals waking up and going, wow, we've been screwed again. Because in about 12 to 18 months, the emails and the text messages are going to start going out saying, you got to vote, you know, donate to the Democrats to stop Donald Trump's right-wing agenda in the Congress and the Senate. And if people keep donating, I don't know why. I don't know why they keep giving $1 billion of like your hard-earned money was given to this campaign, and you tried to appeal to Republican voters. It's failed twice, twice. And it's not because people don't want a female president. There's going to be a female president in this country for sure soon. And it's probably going to be, and she'll be a Republican, and it'll probably be Tulsi Gabbard, because now that she's flipped, she's going to get, people are going to vote for her. I got a lot of issues with Tulsi because I think she's just chasing power, but that's what they all do. And she'll be elected. She'll be the first woman president, will be a Republican. Mark my words. Because the Democrats are so out of touch. They're the party of, the Democratic Party used to be the party of the working people. FDR was elected 3 times in a row. They had to do term limits. He never lost because the Democrats and FDR kept passing law after law after law to help working class people. And the Democrats rode on that for decades and did some stuff, and LBJ did good, you know, there's these big things that happen. And then long about 30, 40 years ago, man, like Bill Clinton got elected running, you know, a half an inch to the left of the Republicans. Okay, he won. Obama, like they haven't helped working class people, and people are starving and having a hard time. And there's no real opposition party. And now you've got Trump. It's not, you know, like in that sketch, which is very funny. Us leftists, we've been warning you. I mean, this is what you get. This is when Bernie just backed down. This is all he had such voter turnout when the Democratic Party cheated him. I mean, on down the line, stuff I've been talking about on this show for 7.5 years. And the Democrats keep doing it. It's why I'm switching the show to Bitcoin and travel. By the first of the year, by the beginning of the year, this will be a travel show. I'm going to travel around the world and do shows and meet people and talk about Bitcoin and surfing and and food. That's what I'm going to do, because this is just a waste of my time, because liberals don't want to listen. I really thought maybe after 2016, more people would do what I did. I woke up. I was a crazy liberal getting all mad and thinking the Republicans were the worst and Democrats were pretty good. Not, they weren't perfect. And then I saw that's what this whole show was about. Part of the reason of this show was to educate myself. And when I saw, that's why I say follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. And you see, oh, both parties are awful. Both parties are corrupt. Both parties, the whole system is broken. Everything's about war and Wall Street bailouts. And Trump is not going to be any good either. And people are like, he's going to fund Israel. Yeah, I'm against him. But he wasn't in power. Biden and Harris are in power right now. So, and liberals will just keep giving their votes and their money to the Democratic Party. And they won't listen to actual lefties. And they always say, oh, you lefties, you're so unrealistic. It's like, why do we win? Like, look at all of the progressive policies that passed. The state of Florida voted for abortion, pro-abortion, 57% of the vote. Now, it didn't pass because Florida has this crazy law. You got to get 60% of the vote for a bill to pass. But you're telling me 57% of Floridians voted for abortion when that state went hard red, hard for Trump, but 57% of them want safe, legal abortions. There's examples like that all over the country. Missouri voted for a bunch of progressive policies. I mean, a red state, red, voting for all these progressive policies. So that just shows you that it's not that people don't want a woman president. It's that there's no diversity of policy with the Democratic Party. There's no diversity of policy. That's the problem. That's the problem. And the Democratic Party they're the problem. And if you keep supporting this party, it's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. I don't think the Trump presidency is going to be very good. I just don't. I mean, it's obviously going to be good for Bitcoin probably, and I'm a Bitcoiner, but I don't think it's going to be good. He's going to pass laws saying that, activist organizations are terrorist groups. So anyone that protests Trump is going to be a terrorist organization. I don't think that's good. But, look at all the Democrats that signed the Patriot Act. Look at how Obama in 2011 signed the AUMF, the Authorization of Use of Military Force, in December of 2011. And they used that to target, in 2012, Occupy Wall Street protesters. They used that to go after Standing Rock protesters. Occupy and Standing Rock happened when Obama was in office. And so liberals didn't seem to have a problem when Obama was like taking away people's civil rights, and when Obama was bombing the shit out of people in the Middle East and hurting Muslims and Middle Eastern people. When Obama was putting, migrants in cages, the liberals didn't seem to have a problem. They were okay with it. So, this is actually what you get if you keep voting for this party. You can't just also not pay attention. For the other thing why I know liberals are wrong. I used to do this too. I just kind of watch a little CNN. I'd watch some NPR. I'd read like Mother Jones, and I thought I was informed. Oh, Fox News is awful, which it is. But then I started to realize, wait, now MSNBC and CNN are also full of it. They're putting their spin, their version of propaganda. And I was like, I started to pay attention. And when I started to pay attention, oh my God, it's like the Matrix. Like you can't unsee it anymore. And they don't want to hear it. And I get attacked from both sides on this show. I'm like, America, good luck, man. So, do grassroots activities, get involved in your community, help out best you can, and if Trump starts rounding people up like the liberals are worried about doing, it's the Democrats' fault. They let this happen. And that's the reality. Debbie Wasserman Schultz was fired in 2016 for cheating. And liberals didn't have an outrage. They didn't get pissed off at that. I did. Donna Brazile was fired from CNN for giving Hillary Clinton questions ahead of a debate. These are facts. I didn't make this. This isn't a conspiracy. The DNC fired W. Wasserman Schultz. Donna Brazile was fired by CNN for cheating. They were cheating. They cheated in the Democratic primary in 2016. They cheated, and everyone was okay with it. And Trump is good for ratings. I guarantee you, CNN, the CNN executives, MSNBC and CBS, they're all like, well, this is going to be good for ratings. They're all saying that. They're all saying that. I guarantee it. Because Les Moonves, the head of CBS, said it in 2017. He said Trump was good for ratings. That's why Bernie Sanders was giving a speech talking about Medicare for all and helping Americans with things we can afford. If we can send billions of dollars overseas for wars, we can afford these things for America. And it's always like, how are we going to pay for it? I heard liberals repeating that point. They cut away from a Bernie Sanders speech to go to an empty Trump microphone, a podium, waiting for Trump. The media did that. The liberal media did that. CNN and MSNBC and CBS, they did that. So the facts are the facts. And if people don't want to listen to them, then you're no different than the right wingers that don't want to listen to it. You're no different. So, follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth. Or not. Or just, liberals just keep yelling, get mad at me, you're screaming, yell in the comments. Don't learn from this. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. Hard left, progressive left, pro-labor left, anti-war left. That's what will get people to vote. Those policies are already working. They're successful. You can't just come in and say, we're smarter than you. We're the liberal elites. Hollywood loves us. All of you people in the rest of the country, you're dumb. We're smarter than you. Vote for us. If you don't vote for us, you're sexist and racist and shut up. It doesn't work. They've lost a bunch that way. So follow the money, connect the dots, get the truth, and shave your knuckles for justice. Boom. All right, gang, that's our show. Thank you for supporting what we do. I appreciate it. I'm curious, when Obama was elected, did the Dems have working policy that they don't anymore, that you need to have working? Yeah, I mean, he talked about all this stuff and then he didn't do it. There was no jobs program under Obama. There was no sweeping things that got people's lives better. He just didn't do it. The Affordable Care Act helped some people. It brought some people's medical costs down. That was about it. But a lot of people said their medical costs went up because of the Affordable Care Act. So people don't want to learn. I don't know what to do. But guys, I got to run. You're awesome. We'll see you next week. And again, get my, you can pre-order my Christmas album, A Socialist Christmas, on iTunes. You can listen a little. You can go to iTunes right now and just listen. They'll give you little 5-10 second versions of each song. It's only $10 for the whole album. It's like 45 minutes of stuff. It's 15 tracks. It's a blast. And I would love it. I would be honored. If you have to choose between doing a super chat or buying the album, buy the album. Please buy the album. So just go to iTunes, look up A Socialist Christmas with Graham Elwood. And thank you so much for supporting the show. You guys are awesome. And Christmas it up. Yes, Annabelle. You guys are fantastic. Thanks for watching. Have a great night, and we'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.